Truth Unveiled here, and today I have a ton of truth to go over with you today, but lately you've been hearing a ton about aliens, haven't you? You've been hearing and seeing a lot about it, and it's been propagandized in the media all along, all this time with Hollywood and other films and TVs. I wonder why that is, and I wonder what they're getting ready for. But here I am in Express, and as you can see, I'm going to expose mainstream media because what are they trying to do? They're trying to pacify you any way they can. But it says, shock claim, aliens have been discovered living here on Earth. Alien communities have been established here on Earth and they are thriving according to a story circulating among UFO conspiracists. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because you all need to see the truth and the agenda about what's going on and about what's about to happen, because so much is about to happen. But it says, the so-called beings claim to be party of the so-called Pleiadian race, a mythological species of humanoid described in UFO circles as being Nordic or Scandinavian in appearance. The biggest base, according to Inexplicata, a journal of Hispanic ufology, is just under 70 miles from mountainous Salta in northwest Argentina. Now, this is, of course, not according to me. This is according to so-called conspiracists. But I'm going to tell you the truth within all this. It says local news outlets in Salta report claims there are now about 30 of these communities in Argentina and further afield where the occupants claim to have reached the end of an evolutionary cycle. Now the question is, why are all these communities in Argentina near Antarctica? I wonder why. Let's keep going. It says, Inexplicata reported between the communities of Cachi and La Poma along Route 40 can be found a Pleiadian base whose occupants claim to be the embodiment of extraterrestrial beings from some other distant corner of the universe, because that's the agenda that they're going to keep giving you. See what they like to do. They like to blend truth with lies. And what is the truth? Oh, the truth is that, oh, these beings are here. That's the truth. But what's the lie? They're not extraterrestrials. They are the fallen angels, and they've been here all along. Just as the article says, they've been living here on Earth. Yes, they have. You just haven't seen them, have you? But it goes on to say, amid messages and entreaties to return to primitive simplicity, the residents claim having reached this northern Argentinian province to herald the end of an evolutionary cycle. And what do they say? Evolution, knowledge, Adam and Eve, 6,000 years and nothing has changed. But let's keep going. The main base is allegedly remotely hidden away behind gates and down meandering paths. Inexplicata added, the homestead, little more than hills and blocks, is hidden in the vegetation. Upon arrival, a bell dangling from a post allows visitors to make their presence unknown. There is little recorded material on the site, but in a recent interview, the Pleiadians welcomed the reporter with the following discerning statement. We were expecting you. Our brothers alike told us you would be coming. The reports in Salta said there was one other base in that province at Cafayate. Interesting indeed. They're said to resemble humans. Who are they? They are the demons. They are the fallen angels. Whether you want to believe that or not, I'm telling you, there's a big deception coming. If you have not watched my Project Bluebeam video, I highly recommend you do, because there's a bigger deception that's brewing. And just what is that deception, you may be wondering? Lately, you've been seeing a lot about portals and about floating cities, haven't you? And the reason I'm talking about these floating cities is because they're getting you ready for the biggest deception. Now, of course, this article, because it's mainstream and it's because it's Express, they're only They're trying to satirize and make fun of the whole thing and mock the whole thing. But really, they're revealing truth to you. But it says the paranormal world has been sent into a frenzy after hundreds of people reported seeing another floating city in the skies above China. You've been seeing floating cities in China and Nigeria, and no, this stuff is not fake. This stuff is real. Why are you seeing this? Because they're getting ready for the biggest deception of all time. But it says the mysterious tower blocks were filmed appearing over the sea at the port of Dalian in northeast China's Liaoning province. Slocky if I butchered that, but it says it has led to speculation among paranormal buffs that something could be trying to communicate with or reach us from another dimension. Who's trying to communicate with us? And the better question is, are they really from another dimension, or have they been here all along? And just who are the they? I'll tell you in just a second, but it even says, but other conspiracy theorists speculated it was a hologram placed in the sky by shadowy government figures to test the reaction of the general public to mysterious events like an alien invasion. Oh, but that's exactly what they're doing. They can't tell you that because that information is disclosed. Not only that, but they know they're not really aliens. They know they're the fallen angels, the demons, because they've been working with them. And what do these demons and fallen angels do? They deceive. Deception, magic, illusion, to make you seem like, oh, to give you the illusion that they're real, but really this is exactly what is going on. But they have to make you think it's a conspiracy. Why? Because of mind control. 2016 would be the year of alien disclosure. Could that be the case? We will only find out soon enough. But lately you've been seeing a lot about UFOs, haven't you? You've been hearing a ton about UFOs. I wonder why that is. And this report comes from our favorite Huffington Post, but it says, vanishing UFOs spotted over Ontario? Is this proof of UFOs coming from or going to other dimensions? They know exactly where it's coming from. They have to give you the illusion that it's coming from other planets that don't exist. They have to give you the illusion that it's coming from other dimensions that don't exist. Why? Because it's the same thing that was going on thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. The fallen angels, demons, these are the vehicles that they drive in, the so-called UFOs. Yes, that's correct. You may not want to believe that, but that's just the truth. And like I said, they blend truth with a bunch of lies. They don't want you to know the spiritual side of this. They don't want you to see the spiritual side of this because they want you to think that it's all, oh, it's just out of this world. Oh, there's nothing really to it, to keep you under subliminal mind control. This goes much deeper than you think, and I'm trying to wake people up to this truth so that they will not be deceived when the so-called alien disclosure takes place. When your president and the Vatican and NASA and all the others announce, oh my gosh, we've made contact with space aliens. Oh my gosh, we've made contact with extraterrestrials. Here they come, here they come. We need to merge as a new world order to fight off this threat. Will you be fooled for what they tell you, or will you wake up now and see the agenda for what it really is? I hope so, because this relates to the new world order, the one world government, and this is practically the only way they can do it. But it says UFOs are reported across the plane on a daily basis, and it's often the same thing. A circular object shines brilliantly in the sky, and then instantly it disappears. I wonder why. It says, of course, if an advanced civilization in a far-off galaxy, that's what they want us to believe, had the technology to cross the far reaches of space, we might assume the pilots of those spacecraft could also have a cloaking device or hyperspace afterburns like you might see in your favorite science fiction movie. Do you see the agenda here? Do you see what they're trying to do through Hollywood and Alien and all these other films, movies, and other things, and through NASA as well? They're trying to brainwash you and condition your mind into thinking that, oh, they're coming off from some far off galaxy. They're coming from millions and millions of miles away. They're conditioning and programming your mind to think that, so that when the deception does take place, and this is going to be the biggest deception of all time, when this does take place, you're going to fall for it unless you see the reality for what it is. Yes, reality is stranger than fiction. You're the one living in a fantasy if you keep listening to NASA and believing everything that Hollywood tells you, because they're basically the same thing. But it says they might even have the ability to slip into and out of other dimensions or realities. Okay. A sighting last month in Ontario, Canada, posted to YouTube, delights viewers' eyes and lives up to every expectation of a close encounter, except in one respect, it probably isn't real, because that's what they want you to believe. And notice how they keep talking about close encounters, close encounters. I just did a video and a report a couple of months ago about the CIA disclosing the X-Files and UFOs. Why would they do that at such a time as this? And by the way, the propaganda show X-Files, why would that show even be talking about the so-called alien disclosure? What are they getting ready for? What are they preparing for, and what are they conditioning our minds to be thinking about? Because remember, it's all about mind control, and I'm doing my best to wake you all up to truth so that you do not fall for the mind control that is even at the door. You've also been hearing a ton about, oh, so-called discoveries, haven't you? Because this article even says, Inquisitor, archaeologists discover so-called aliens and flying saucer UFOs and 10,000-year-old cave rock paintings in India. Now, like I said, they give you some truth and a bunch of lies. The truth is that, oh, they've discovered all this stuff. They've discovered a ton of stuff. They've discovered flying saucers on hieroglyphics. They've discovered so-called aliens on hieroglyphics. They discovered so-called UFOs and other spaceships on hieroglyphics. You can even look that up with the Sumerian hieroglyphics. But will you actually do that? Or will you keep sitting here thinking it's all a fake, it's all a hoax? Oh, it's not real, though. It's not real. I'm telling you, you seriously better wake up now if you still think that, because when this stuff starts happening, when the deception takes place, oh my goodness, you will be taken for a loop, because I'm telling you, it's real and it's time to wake up. The deception is even at the door. It's all ready to go. But like I said, what do? They mix some truth with a bunch of lies. And I'm going to tell you just what I mean. It says Indians archaeologists have discovered 10,000-year-old prehistoric rock paintings apparently depicting so-called aliens and UFOs, when we know who they really are, in an ancient cave system near the remote tribal villages of Chandeli and Gotitola in the Charama area of the Kanker district of Bastar in the state of, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but it says the cave paintings located about 130 kilometers from the city Raipur include several depictions of humanoid beings standing with disc-shaped objects. What do you think that is? You can even read the book of Ezekiel and it will tell you what it is. The chariots, the UFOs, the so-called fallen angels and demons, the so-called aliens who are the fallen angels who are disguising themselves as aliens. But see, they give you some truth. They say that, oh, it depicts aliens and UFOs. Oh, it does. Of course, we know they're not aliens, but they still mix lies with it. They try to tell you that, oh, it's 10,000 years old. Oh, it's 10,000 years old, because they want you to believe that the earth is 4.6 billion years old. No, they are lying to your face. Please wake up. It's not that old. It's maybe like 3,000 or 4,000 years old, maybe. But here they actually show you and confirm it here, and I'll take you to those other links as well. But it says, huh? Alien cave painting depicting aliens and UFOs in India? What? And you can actually see what it shows. And not only that, but like I said, look up the Sumerian hieroglyphics. It'll show you so-called spaceships, because I'm telling you, this technology has been here even in the days of Noah. This technology was here back in the times of the Egyptians, the Sumerians. All the technology we have today is nothing new. It was here once before, only we've been brainwashed into thinking that it's new, and they've hidden the evidence to make it seem as though it's been hidden and that it's, oh, brand new. But no, this technology has been here for a long time. Like I said, I'm going to leave the links below so you can come and read this on your own time, but don't be fooled, because like I said, they like to blend truth with a ton of lies. And by the way, if you still don't believe me, I highly recommend you check out the YouTube channel Trey Smith, where he goes into real detail regarding different paintings and hieroglyphics, as well as dinosaurs depicted on ancient hieroglyphics that are only about 3,000 and 4,000 years old. Oh, but you still think it's a fake. You still think it's a phony and a hoax, don't you? Oh my goodness, don't be deceived. But it goes on to say that the state in India and the Department of Archaeology and Culture plans to seek help from our favorite NASA and ISRO for research on 10,000-year-old rock paintings depicted so-called aliens and UFOs, when we know who they really are, in the Charama region and Kanker district in tribal Bastar region of India. Now, of course, what they're not telling you is that they already knew about this so-called discovery a long time ago. They're just now finally admitting it to us to get us ready for the biggest deception of all time. But it says, according to archaeologist J.R. Bhagat, these paintings have depicted so-called aliens like those shown in Hollywood and Bollywood flicks. Well, why would they be shown there, and why would they just so happen to depict the same ones in these films? Is there an agenda behind this? You bet there is. It says, located about 130 kilometers from Raipur, the caves come under village Chandeli and Gotitola. It says, the findings suggest that humans in prehistoric times may have seen or imagined beings from other so-called planets. That's what they want us to believe. No, they've been here. The so-called aliens as the fallen angels have been here. Planets don't exist, which still create curiosity among people and researchers. Extensive research is needed for further findings. Oh, they've done plenty of research on this, because who do you think is behind it to begin with? But it says the region presently doesn't have any such expert who would give clarity on the subject. Yes, they do. They're just lying to your face. But it says here's one of the ancient rock paintings. And of course, I know you're going to get skeptics out there who say, oh, they're just people. Oh, they don't look like anything. Oh, they're just a fake. You all seriously better wake up fast, because I'm telling you, when this alien disclosure take place, if you're not awoke to this, if you're not seeing the spiritual side of this, you're going to think that they're aliens from other planets, when that is simply not the case. But it goes on to say there are several beliefs among locals in these villages. While few worship the paintings, others narrate stories they have heard from ancestors about Rahela people, the small-sized one, who used to land from sky in a round-shaped flying object and take away one or two persons of village who never return. What does that sound like to you? So-called alien abduction, when the demons and the fallen angels, they take people to either cloning centers or the different cloning centers underground, the underground military bases, to conduct experimentation on them, just like the days of Noah, as well as DNA modification. Nothing new is under the sun, as well as cloning. This stuff has been going on for over 5,000 years, folks. This has been going on since the days of Noah. That's what that's talking about. Biblical prophecies literally being fulfilled in front of your face if you believe it, but are you awoke to it? It says the paintings are done in natural colors that have hardly faded despite the years. The strangely carved figures are seen holding weapon-like objects and do not have clear features. Especially the nose and mouth are missing. In few pictures they are even shown wearing spacesuits. We can't refute possibility of imagination by prehistoric men, but humans usually fancy such things, the archaeologist said, because the archaeologist wants you to believe that, oh, they just made it up, the prehistoric people just made all this up, and it was just myths and stories. That's what they want you to believe, to accept the New World Order. But if you're not awoke now, I honestly don't know what to tell you. And then he added that it is a coincidence that such ancient images appear to have sharp resemblances to UFOs shown in so-called alien movies. Is that a coincidence, or was that the plan all along? And are they finally revealing all this so-called truth, but still blending it with some lies? It says the fan-like antenna and three legs of vehicles stand clearly show a similarity to UFO-type craft, and you can see that right here. Huh, very interesting. You mean to tell me that that was there 3,000 years ago and thousands of years ago? Because they wouldn't just make that up. If they're seeing it today, they saw it back then. You all honestly all need to wake up. And for those of you skeptics who still say, oh, show me the proof, show me the proof, show me the evidence, show me the evidence. I'm showing you the evidence, but oh, you're still not believing it because you can't believe the plans of the New World Order. You can't even believe the New World Order exists with the fallen angels, even though presidents have talked about it. For example, George H.W. Bush, 11 years exactly before 9/11. Oh, but you still think it's a conspiracy, don't you? Like, seriously, it's time to stop making excuses and wake up to the reality, because yes, the reality is stranger than fiction. You're the one living in a fantasy. If only you would wake up now and see the big agenda ahead of time. Like I said, the biggest deceptions are about to take place, and if you have not watched my Project Bluebeam video, I highly recommend you do, because what that's going to tell you is the government's nefarious plan of revealing to the world so-called aliens and so-called extraterrestrial beings with the false messiah in order to bring in false peace and a false millennium, along with the plans of evolution. Because when these so-called aliens come to the earth, they're going to tell you, oh my goodness, we can give you so much technology. We can give you all this technology, all this stuff. All you have to do is bow down to us because we are your overlords. That is exactly what they are about to tell you. That is exactly what the disclosure is about to take place. But are you awoke to this? I hope so. But I'm going to leave this link below so you can read it as well. And please know that reality really is stranger than fiction. And the last place I want to take you to is Admiral Byrd and Operation High Jump. And I'm going to summarize Operation High Jump, but basically it was a military exercise as well as a Nazi exercise following World War II, where Admiral Richard E. Byrd led 4,000 military troops from the U.S., Britain, and Australia in an invasion of Antarctica and encountered so-called flying saucers, so-called UFOs in order to start the nefarious space program called NASA to make you think and deceive your mind into thinking that aliens are real and planets are real, all the biggest deceptions of all time. And like I said, you can keep sitting there thinking it's a conspiracy all you want. The government has even disclosed UFOs to you through X-Files, and I'll leave the link for that below so you can see what I'm talking about. But the reason I'm talking about this is because they're about to unleash the biggest deception of all time. And not only that, but what else did Mr. Bird discover? He discovered the firmament at the end of Antarctica. They can't tell you that though, because then that will prove the creation and a creator. They don't want you to know that, because if you knew that, then you wouldn't be subjected to hypnosis and mind control that is called NASA, because you still believe everything NASA tells you. I'm telling you, when this deception, when this disclosure takes place, you're going to be taken for a loop unless you wake up now and see the bigger agenda. And what's the bigger agenda? What is the greatest deception of all time? The greatest deception will be the so-called aliens, the so-called UFOs. If you think that they're out of this world, if you think that they come from some other planets, oh my goodness, do not be deceived. Even scripture says, do not be deceived. I'm telling you, this is all biblical prophecy being fulfilled. But if you still think it's a fake and a phony and oh, it's all just a hoax, I suggest you seriously do some research, watch my other videos, and also watch my CERN video, because you should be concerned. Please seek Yahuwah and his true son Yahusha, so that all may be well with you, so that you will not be deceived, because it's even at the door. This is Truth Unveiled here. Shalom.